Know you can buy a functioning farmhouse on 15 acres in Georgia for less than the average new car? Or that there's a town in southwest Georgia so known for hunting that millionaires flies in from New York just to spend a weekend there?
Well, the state of Georgia is covered in millions of acres of private forest land. Expanding and especially maintaining those forests is in the best interest of everyone.
Here's what most people don't realize. Georgia has zero state property tax, meaning your tax bill could literally be counted on one hand. Ready? Because today on Life in the State, we're uncovering 10 dirt cheap farmhouse paradoxes that completely shatter everything you think you know about where real estate deals actually hide in America. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button right now because we find these forgotten corners before anyone else. And drop a comment telling me, which state should we expose next? Most people searching for affordable land in America keep scrolling past Georgia. They're looking at Texas. They're bookmarking Tennessee. They're zooming in on the Carolinas. Meanwhile, Georgia, the largest state east of the Mississippi River, sits completely overlooked. It's the real estate equivalent of finding a $5 bill in your winter jacket pocket. Here's what makes this possible. Georgia has no state income tax on residential property. None. Zero. That single fact transforms what you can actually afford when you factor in the math across 20, 30, even 50 years of ownership. Today, we're walking through 10 properties across Georgia's 159 counties. These aren't listings that show up in the algorithm. These are places where people who bought them 5 years ago are still shocked they got away with it. We're talking about a price range that spans from $274,000 all the way down to something so absurdly low that I checked the listing 3 separate times because my brain refused to process the number. Let's dig in. Property 1, the Longleaf Pine Masterpiece First Property. 15 acres, 2 wraparound porches, each one stretching 44 feet long. The asking price? $274,000. Now, before you scroll away thinking that's expensive, understand what you're actually looking at here. This house was built with old-growth longleaf pine, the same timber they used when constructing George Washington's Mount Vernon. That specific wood type doesn't exist anymore. You literally cannot buy it new. The trees took 100 years to grow, and loggers stopped harvesting this way decades ago, which means every board inside this home is irreplaceable. Walk through the front door, and your feet land on hard pine flooring that glows amber under afternoon light. The great room measures 19 by 36 feet. That's roughly the size of a small barn. A wood-burning stove anchors one wall on a full brick hearth. The kitchen wraps around both sides with solid pine cabinetry and a center island massive enough to prep food for a family reunion without anyone bumping elbows. The primary bedroom upstairs is a 21 by 19-foot sanctuary with its own wood-burning stove. The master bathroom features dual vanities, custom tile work, and a soaking tub deep enough to actually disappear into after working land all day. But here's the real secret.
Here's another bedroom.
There's a second bedroom downstairs configured as a completely separate primary suite. Multi-generational living, 2 families, 0 conflict. The layout just works. Outside, 15 acres of rolling Georgia landscape stretches to the horizon. No rooflines visible, no HOA dictating mailbox colors. Just silence and sky, and the kind of privacy people drive hours to rent on vacation. Except this isn't a vacation rental, it's home. This sits in a town of 3,800 people whose name literally means, "My delight is in her," from biblical text. The locals will tell you the name fits perfectly. Augusta. Georgia's second largest city with hospitals, universities, restaurants, sits 14 minutes north. You get full access when you need it, everything else. Yours alone, 15 acres. Heart of pine flooring. Full renovations already completed. Tax bill, under $1,000 per year. The property down the list somehow managed to keep all this character while dropping the price dramatically. Property 2. The Pond and Dock Dream Property number 2 made me scroll through the photos twice because I genuinely thought I was looking at a different listing. 13 acres, a stocked pond, a covered dock already built and ready. Most people fantasize about waterfront living, but never build it. Too expensive, too complicated. Requires specialized contractors and permits and planning. This property already has it finished. Someone else handled all that work, then decided to sell, which means you're buying infrastructure someone else paid for. The pond doesn't sit off in the distance. It dominates your view from the kitchen window. From the bedroom when you open blinds in the morning. From the porch where you drink coffee. The dock is covered, meaning you can fish in rain, snow, or full sunshine. A fish cleaning station stands 10 steps away, already wired, already plumbed. The house itself was built in 2000, so the bones are young. Cottage-style metal roof, raised foundation. Open floor plan with specialty ceilings that make every room feel taller than the square footage suggests. The kitchen actually has counter space for cooking. The bathroom has custom tile work. The bedrooms are bright. Nothing about this house is trying too hard. It just functions like a home should. Walk outside and pecan trees cover the property. Enough to fill bags every autumn with pecans you didn't plant, didn't tend, didn't have to buy. A chicken coop stands ready. A detached garage, a workshop. Deer walk the tree line during early morning. Turkeys cross the property like they own it. And honestly, they've been crossing longer than you'll live there. Ducks land on the pond and stay. The pond even has its own dedicated well to maintain water levels when summer heat arrives. This is Southwest Georgia. Population Wetheen 800. County seat of Calhoun County. The kind of town where people wave from trucks when passing. The cashier knows your name by your second visit. This specific corner of Georgia exists as the quail hunting capital of the world. Not a nickname, reality. 400,000 acres of hunting plantations stretch from Albany down to Thomasville. Some owned by the same families for over 100 years. Wealthy hunters fly in from New York and Chicago just to spend weekends in these woods. You'd be living in the middle of that landscape with your own dock, your own pond, your own land, and nobody charging by the night. 13 acres, stocked pond, covered dock, pecan trees, chicken coop, detached garage. Asking price $250,000. Property 3, the updated Ranch Paradise. The next property forced me to rethink everything. Someone took a 1980s ranch house and brought it completely into the present without erasing what made it comfortable in the first place. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, single floor, 3.5 acres. Positioned far enough from the road that headlights never reach your window.
And look how pretty this is out here. Oh my gosh, it's so green and beautiful.
Renovations work done right is invisible. You don't notice it because nothing screams, "Look at me, I'm new." The flooring is luxury vinyl plank, warm underfoot, authentic looking, practical for land living. The kitchen got white cabinetry, stainless steel appliances, pendant lighting. The living room soars with vaulted ceilings and a fireplace that actually works. Natural light floods through windows. You don't reach for light switches during daytime hours. The primary bedroom separates from the rest of the house with an attached flexible space. Office, reading room, second screen for remote work. You're staring at trees instead of cubicle walls. The other 2 bedrooms are bright, spacious, thoughtfully updated. Screened porch is where this property earns its existence. Vaulted wood ceiling, screens on every side. Surrounded by green. A silence so complete you hear birds shift branches. In the South, a screened porch isn't a luxury. It's the room where life actually happens. Morning starts here. Evening ends here. This porch sells the entire property. Outside, 3.5 acres of rolling green land with mature trees everywhere. Central heating and air. No city taxes. No HOA. The well handles water. The septic handles everything else. Just listed, which means you're viewing it before the algorithm even registers it exists. Dead center of Georgia's state. County seat of a county literally named Peach County. Because this is the peach capital of the world. Orchards start at town edges and roll outward in every direction. Every June, the entire area shuts down for the Georgia Peach Festival. Lane Southern Orchards operates a massive retail and packing facility that draws tourists statewide just to taste what actually comes off these trees. Grocery stores, restaurants, a hospital nearby, and downtown restoration projects bringing historic buildings back to life. 3.5 acres, completely updated house, screened porch, central heat and air, no taxes, no HOA, asking price $29,900. Seriously, pause the video right now. Have you seen anything like these prices near where you live? Drop a comment and let me know what you'd actually do if you found land like this in your state. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into Georgia's hidden real estate, smash that subscribe button right now because we're only halfway through. Property Thesis 4, the character renovation project Property 4, tells a different story. Somebody started something beautiful in this house, then stopped. Not because of damage or neglect. Just a vision that got halfway there, waiting for the right person to finish it. This is actually valuable. A half-finished house with intentional design choices already made is different from a blank canvas. Someone with taste already selected materials, colors, and direction. You're not starting from scratch, you're completing someone else's vision. The living room tells the entire story. One wall is covered floor to ceiling with reclaimed barnwood, real planks, rough-edged, warm. A fireplace sits centered in that wall. The surrounding walls are deep navy. A ceiling fan turns overhead. Light streams in through big windows. This room already has mood. The kind of space where you sit down in the evening and don't need a television because the room itself is enough. The kitchen carries the same character. Gray-blue cabinetry, granite countertops, industrial faucet, space to actually cook. Not fully finished, but the bones are there.
Here is the kitchen. This is a massive fridge.
Whoever picked the palette knew exactly what they were doing. Upstairs, the bedrooms feature that same barnwood aesthetic mixed with navy and gray tones. One bathroom already has marble look tile in the shower with reclaimed wood framing, the kind of detail most people only see in magazines. The other bathroom needs more work. The basement is finished with its own bathroom and extra living space not reflected in the listing numbers but absolutely visible when you walk downstairs. Built in 2008, so the structure is young. 2 stories, split-level layout, central heat and air. The bones are straight. Everything that makes this house irreplaceable is already here. Monticello, Georgia, population 2,800. Rolling Hills of Central Georgia, county seat of Jasper County, is established 1808. Built around a courthouse square with tree-lined streets and historic homes from every era, Greek Revival, Craftsman, Colonial, standing side by side is like a timeline you can drive through. The scenic byway passes right by it with farmland and pine forest, stretching endlessly. Atlanta sits about an hour northwest when you need a big city. Out here, the pace is different. The biggest calendar event is a fall festival, and nobody's complaining about that. 2 stories, split level, finished basement, barn on property, 1 acre. Already half renovated with intentional design. Cash price, $190,000. Property 5, the solid brick time capsule Property 5 was built in 1959. The best decision anyone ever made about it was leaving it alone. Red brick on all 4 sides, metal roof. From the street, it looks like every solid ranch house you've ever driven past and thought, that one's been there forever, and it'll be there long after everything else on the street is gone. Because it will. Nostalgia is cheap. Actually, preserved architecture is rare. This house wasn't stripped down and gentrified into gray suburban blandness. It stayed itself. Walk inside, and the first thing you notice is the wood. Knotty pine paneling runs through the entire house. Walls, hallways, room after room. Warm, golden, glowing like honey in afternoon light. This isn't cheap paneling somebody stapled over drywall in the 1980s. This is real wood, milled and installed when the house was built. When builders used pine because it was beautiful and nobody had to explain why. The foyer opens into a formal living room. Carpet underfoot, ceiling fan turning. The kind of space where company sits and stays. Beyond that, a second living area stretches wide. Pine paneling on every wall. Big windows overlooking the yard. A dining table in the corner where Sunday dinner has probably happened 1,000 times. The kitchen wraps around 2 walls with wood cabinetry matching the pine throughout. A cooktop. An oven. A bar where you can eat breakfast without setting a table. Every appliance stays with the house. A walk-in laundry room doubles as a mudroom with a door straight to the carport. The kind of layout that sounds simple until you realize how many modern houses forget to build it. 3 bedrooms down the hallway. The primary tucks at the far end with its own bathroom and distance from the other 2. Privacy automatically built in. The other bedrooms carry that same pine warmth on the walls. Ceiling fans in each one, windows bringing in the yard. The bathrooms are the rooms that make you stop. Pink tile, burgundy trim, a walk-in shower with original tile work from the Eisenhower era. In most houses, someone would have ripped all this out and replaced it with gray subway tile and called it modern. Here, nobody touched it. That's why it still has a soul. Outside, the acre opens flat and green, a patio off the back with room for a table, a storage shed under the trees, a carport with room for 2 vehicles, public water, public sewer. No well to worry about. No septic to maintain. Colquitt, Georgia, population 2,000, the only incorporated town in Miller County. Here's what makes Colquitt unlike any other small town on this list. In 1992, it was dying. Population dropping, businesses closing, kids leaving after graduation and never returning. Then somebody had an idea that sounded insane. They'd save the town by putting on a play. They called it Swamp Gravy. Local stories, local actors. Performed in a restored cotton warehouse from the New Deal era, it became Georgia's official folklife play. People started driving in from across the state to watch neighbors act out their own community's stories. It happens every spring and fall in a 284-seat theater packed with people. That kind of thing doesn't come from a tourism brochure. It tells you everything about the people living there. 1959 brick ranch, original pine paneling, original tile bathrooms, metal roof. 1 full acre, public utilities, tax bill, under $300 per year. Asking price $98,500. Property 6, the colonial downtown landmark Property 6 was built in 1900, white clapboard. 2 stories. Columns framing the front entrance. 2 chimneys rising from either side like bookends. From the street, this house looks exactly like it did when the century turned. 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. Nearly 3,500 square feet. Walking through the original front door, you stand on wide plank hardwood from day one, beadboard ceilings overhead. Rooms flow into each other through doorways instead of hallways. Doors are hand-carved dark wood with oval medallions and laurel wreaths original to the house. You cannot buy craftsmanship like this anymore. Every bedroom has its own fireplace. Built-in cabinetry in the dining room. Sunroom filled with light. A screened porch looking out through magnolias. Here's the honest part. The kitchen needs complete reimagining. Bathrooms are a blank canvas, no central heat or air, but the bones are straight. The structure is standing. Everything irreplaceable is here. Outside, a guest cottage, an old cookhouse, a historic garage. 3 buildings on the property. Located in Thompson, Georgia. Population 6,800, 35 miles west of Augusta. Called the camellia capital of the South. Thousands of camellia bushes planted through streets and yards, blooming every winter when everything else is bare. The oldest stone house in Georgia sits right here, the Rock House, built in 1785, still standing. Blind Willie McTell, one of America's most important blues musicians, was born here. The town throws a blues festival annually. Price, $118,000. Property 7 is a 1922 home sitting on 3 acres. You've seen this town before. Reese Witherspoon walked down this main street in Sweet Home, Alabama. They filmed it here in Crawfordville because Hollywood needed a town that looked like the real South. Not a set, not a studio lot. They found this place and didn't change anything. White columns frame the front porch. An American flag hangs by the door. The living room and dining room stop you before you reach the back. Light blue walls. Golden hardwood floors catching afternoon sun. Crystal chandeliers. An arched window with leaded glass, throwing different patterns on the floor every hour. The kitchen has warm oak cabinetry with tile floors. A breakfast room. Move to the back and the house tells a different story. Sage green walls with paint starting to lift. Rooms needing fresh plaster and color. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. The primary is generous. The layout needs adjustment, but at $71 per square foot on 3 acres, the math gives you room to add what's missing. Forced air heating. Central air conditioning. Public water. Public sewer outside a guest cottage needing repair. A storage shed. A garage with matching character. Located in Crawfordville. Population 479. County seat of Talbot County. Quiet doesn't mean disconnected. I-20 is 2 miles away. Augusta is 35 minutes east. Atlanta is 90 minutes west. Stevens State Park is 5 minutes away. Price, $130,000. Properties 8. The blank canvas colonial property 8 is white clapboard, 2 stories. Brand new classical fluted columns holding up the front porch, fresh paint. If you drove past this house at sunset, you'd guess $500,000 without thinking twice. Built in 1917. 6 bedrooms, 2,800 square feet. $35 per square foot. Every room is white. Beadboard ceilings, plank walls, all painted the same clean white. 2 fireplaces with original mantels. Crown molding running along wall tops. French doors between rooms. A staircase leading upstairs where bedrooms open wide with new windows pulling in light. Here's the honest part. It's empty. It's raw, no kitchen. 1 bathroom for 6 bedrooms. Utilities not turned on. You're buying the structure, the lot, the columns, and the vision. Cash only. Everything else is you. Outside, a ½ acre sits on a level lot with a driveway.
Wow, good job.
Wow!
Public sewer, public water. Natural gas available at the street, located in Temple, Georgia. Population 5,000, in Carroll County. 38 miles from downtown Atlanta. This isn't deep rural Georgia. This is the Atlanta metro area. I-20 runs through town. Population grew 20% in the last 10 years because people figured out you can live here, work in the city, and still come home to a quiet street with trees and a porch. Average home in Temple sells for over $300,000. Price $99,000. Property 9. The Quiet Pines Sanctuary Property 9 drops to $78,000. The first thing you notice isn't the house, it's the quiet. Tall pine trees on every side, so thick and close together that light comes through in columns. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 floor. Rooms are simple. Wood paneling in some, painted walls in others. Ceiling fans in every room. The kitchen is small and honest, a laundry room set up and ready. Bedrooms have enough space to live properly with windows bringing in green from every direction. Bathrooms are clean, tub and shower combos. Nothing fancy, nothing broken. Here's what matters at this price. Central heat and air. The system is here. It works. For $78,000, that changes the entire conversation. The screen porch on the back vaults overhead with wood ceilings and screens on every side. Morning coffee here doesn't taste like morning coffee anywhere else. The floors need work, but the house is livable right now. The expensive things are already done. Outside, a storage shed, room under the carport, 1.5 acres of wooded land. Only neighbors are trees, private well, septic system. Taxes, $520 a year, located near Albany, Georgia. Population, 65,000. A real city with hospitals, shopping, restaurants, a regional airport. But this house sits in Mitchell County just outside where streets end and pines begin. You're close enough to drive into Albany for anything you need and far enough out that nobody's driving past your house on the way to somewhere else. Price, $78,000. The last property broke the math completely. $32,900. A house built in 1950 with stone porch columns and a tax bill that most people spend more on at a single grocery store trip. From the outside, cream siding, red trim along the roofline. Those columns up close are even better than the photos. Bushes clipped along the front. A concrete walkway curving up to the door. A yard with enough shade from old trees that grass stays green even in August. This house looks like it was built by somebody who wanted it to last. 75 years later, it's still here, proving them right. Inside, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, high ceilings making every room feel taller than paper suggests. Rooms are simple. Paneling on some walls, painted surfaces on others, ceiling fans in every room. The kitchen runs along the back with enough space to work. A dining area with windows on 2 sides catching morning light. Bedrooms are real rooms with enough square footage for a bed, a dresser, and floor space. The bathroom needs attention. The house needs cosmetic work, new paint, new flooring, fresh energy. Nobody's hiding that. But the walls are standing, the roof is on. Public water and public sewer are already connected. That alone is worth more than most people realize at this price. Located in Tifton, Georgia. Population 17,000. This isn't a wide spot in the road. This is a real city with grocery stores, restaurants, a hospital, a college, and a historic downtown with an Art Deco theater hosting live shows. Called the Friendly City. Named one of the 100 best small towns in America. I-75 runs right through town. You're connected to everything between Atlanta and Florida without living in either one. The Georgia Museum of Agriculture operates 95 acres of restored buildings and a working steam train drawing visitors statewide. Average home in Tifton sells for over $200,000. Price, $3,900. Tax bill for an entire year, $291. That's Georgia. 10 properties across 159 counties that most real estate websites never bother searching. From a farmhouse with rocking chair porches and heart of pine floors, all the way down to a house with stone columns and a tax bill you could cover with what's in your wallet right now. Every house on this list is real. Every listing is active as of today. If any of them stopped you, the links are in the description below. Drop a comment right now and tell me, which Georgia property would you actually buy if you could move tomorrow? And seriously, if you want to see us explore the next state's hidden real estate corners before anywhere else finds them, subscribe to Life in the State. We uncover these paradoxes every single week. What did you learn about Georgia that you didn't know before today? Let me know. I read every comment, new videos every week. Subscribe now.